We did it. Yesterday was a little bit of a frost, and this morning it was a hard frost out there. October 10th, it was crunchy. Yes, it was. So winter's coming. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SuttonsDaze. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and we are all about pantry preparedness. As winter approaches, it's time to get serious about preparing your pantry for the challenges, right, that colder months can bring. They have all kinds of challenges all on their own. Whether it's harsh storms, power outages, or limited access to stores, having a well-stocked pantry can make the difference in keeping you comfortable and safe and nourished. That's what your pantry does. Today, we're going to walk through 15 essential tips, tricks to help you prepare your pantry for basically winter survival. Because if you live someplace where there's winter, you know it's all about survival. From shelf-stable essentials to backup heat sources, we're going to talk about all the different ways that you could stay prepared and warm and well-fed this winter season. Number one, we're going to stock up on shelf-stable essentials. Okay, Lisa, what are those? Shelf-stable essentials, right? Canned goods like fruits and vegetables and soups and meats, dried grains, pasta, rice, quinoa, oats, and then proteins. So in addition to, say, your ugly chicken, okay, or if you don't pressure can, then you can buy the store-bought canned chicken or tuna, whatever the case may be. You want to have canned beans. You want to have lentils, peanut butter, canned fish. Do you like sardines? Phil likes sardines. I don't like sardines. Do you like sardines? Why? Because these items have a long shelf life, like really long shelf life, okay? And provide the necessary nutrients to keep you going through the winter. In addition to that, oatmeal cookies. Hello. Number two is water. Now, you want to store extra water. Extra, meaning stuff that you're not consuming today. You want to make sure that you've got kind of a little stash of it, right? I don't have a lot of room. Don't worry, we're going to cover that. So the standard quote that you will hear all the time is at least 1 gallon of water per person per day, including your animals. Let's just assume I'm talking about our pets too, okay? So 1 gallon of water per person per day. That's not enough. That's not enough. I've been kind of upping that this year, saying, no, really, you want to look more like at 2 gallons per person per day. But if you didn't have room for 1 gallon, then 2 gallons is going to be asking a whole bunch. But the fact of the matter is that if you consume 64 ounces, which is typically what you should consume if you are not sweating. If you are sedentary, okay, and you are not sweating your tuchus off, 64 ounces of water will keep you functioning nicely. If you are sweating and physical and active and, doing all that, you're going to want at least 1 gallon to consume. At least 1 gallon, because you're going to be sweating it all out. You need it. But then you also need the extra water to be able to cook with. So, okay, great. You need 2 gallons per person per day. If you can't store 2 gallons per person per day, then you need to look at a few different options for having backup water. One of them is to store some water. The second one is a water purifier. So while Berkey is having all kinds of issues, the Berkey system works and you can buy filters from other systems that work in your Berkey. Look it up. There's all kinds of controversy about it. I don't want to go into it here. That's not what we're doing. So you want some kind of water filtration device. Now, whether that is Graco, I'll put a link down below for that. That's an individual water filtration for a single person. It's like a sports cup, travel cup kind of thing. Or whether it's something bigger, if you've got the whole family, like a Berkey, awesome, okay? You also want a third system, like water purification tablets. You can put all of these into play. It's a backup to your backup to your backup, because remember, 1 is none, 2 is 1, so on and so forth. Water is not something you want to mess with. Potable water is the water that you actually consume. Non-potable water is the water that you will use to flush the toilet or that you will use to do the laundry, okay? But you want good, clean water if you're doing dishes, that kind of stuff. So water, don't forget your pets, obviously. Winter storms can disrupt water supplies and make it unsafe to drink. It happens. It happens 365, truth be told, okay? So having backup water is critical. If you are on a well like we are, then you might not have the ability to pump water because you lost power. Okay, so you want backup water just in case, and you want backup potable and non-potable water. I live in the city. I don't have anything to worry about. No, actually, you've got more to worry about than I do, okay? Because your water is dependent on an entire infrastructure system, and they are showing that a lot of them are aging pretty bad and having a lot of problems. Look up Flint, Michigan, if you want proof for this, okay? So you want potable and non-potable water to be able to utilize should something happen with your city water. It's one of the most important preps that you can take care of. Number 3, it's wintertime. What does that mean? Comfort food. We need something to make us a little more comfortable with the fact that when we go outside, it makes our face hurt, okay? Cold weather is cold and it's uncomfortable, and sometimes you just really want some comfort food. So stock up a little bit on some comfort food like hot chocolate, instant coffee. I bought some instant coffee. I did. I'm not really a big instant coffee kind of person, but I'm also not a snob. So I bought some instant coffee because I wanted to try it. So I will be trying that a little bit later. I'll take you guys along for the ride on that one. Tea and yeah, even chocolate. Okay, even if you have some vacuum sealed Hershey Kisses or, you know, baking chips or something like that, having that available will sometimes take the edge off of, oh God, it's cold again. It can be a real morale booster, and it provides warmth because, well, chocolate is sugar and sugar is carbs and carbs is energy and energy is warmth. Number 4, you want to include some quick and easy meals. That depends on you and, you know, what your family eats. So as a kind of tip, right, prepare for times when you may not feel like cooking. For me lately, that's like 3 out of 7 days a week, but, and have something that's easy to make. Super easy. I have just not felt like cooking and I'm not consuming it. So I'm like, oh, you know, Phil, what do you want for dinner? And he's like, I'll find something. I'm like, okay, thank you. And so I have split pea soup. I have ham and bean soup. I have beef stew. I have Mississippi pork roast. You know, I have all of this in the pantry. All he has to do is open a jar and heat it up and he's good to go. So quick, easy meals like that make life really a lot easier. Canning up meals in a jar is soup and stew. And there are ways to do it properly. There are ways not to do it. Okay. So, you know, if you want to learn how to do it properly, hit me up. We will talk about it, but they're convenient. They require very minimal effort, right? And they're perfect for when you need a quick meal. So whether it's during an emergency or whether you're just too tired because you just shoveled 14 inches of snow. And I am not against frozen pizza on occasion. Please don't forget cooking alternatives. Now, I have to tell you, one of our dazers is a genius, and so I'll be showing you something when I show you the instant coffee, yeah. But it's not in today's video, but it's coming up. And so you want to look at alternative ways to cook. For a decade now, I have said fondue pots. Back in the day, okay, I was told that I'm dating myself, but back in the day, they were wedding presents, you know. You can normally find them at thrift stores. They're kind of on the roll again. People are starting to look for them again and find them again, which is really cool when you let me know that you found it. Somebody found a really cool one. But yeah, fondue pots. If you don't feel like thrifting for them, because honestly, it's something that you're going to use, you know, how many times? Not often, hopefully, unless you make it a fun game. Like if you've got kids, heating up dinner over a fondue pot would be a lot of fun. You know, let's turn the lights out and we'll have dinner this way tonight. They'd love it. They'd have a blast. Grandkids, they'd love it. They'd have a blast. But because, you know, who wants to spend 40 bucks on something that you might use every now and then? If you want to buy it new, it's absolutely doable. They've got them on Amazon. You don't want the electric ones, okay? I get the ones that you run with either butane, can of butane, or with a tea light, because quite honestly, either one will work. So fondue pot, it'll heat up most anything you want. Will it boil water? Probably not, you know, but it'll make it nice and warm for sure. So look at things like that. Look at the Camp Chef stoves. Look at your grills. Look at little camp stoves. There's all different kinds of ways. You guys hit me up with what you think is best, what you're utilizing. But you want to be able to find alternative cooking methods. I'm not even talking about canning, because being able to prepare a hot meal on a really cold night when the weather is horrible is all the difference between a good day and a really bad day. Spices and seasonings are key. Like key. But don't go getting all crazy, you know. Chinese 5-spice. If you use it a lot, that's great. If you used it once for a recipe 5 years ago, throw it out. You have to be very aware of what you do and don't use. Salt, pepper, paprika, garlic, onion, cumin. Yeah, I could probably get by for quite a while with just those. That's really, you can do a lot of damage with those. So figure out what works in your house for you, and you want to have a little backup to your backup, right? Vacuum seal them, cool, dark, and dry, just like everything else, and you are good. They will make the most boring rice in the world much more interesting. Wintertime is guaranteed. That's when you're going to get sick. And if you live like we do, where we're not really close to a pharmacy of some kind or something, one of those 24-hour pharmacies, then going out in the middle of the night to go get some NyQuil sucks. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you have your cold remedies, your over-the-counter remedies for different stuff. So tea, honey, lemon juice, shelf-stable medications like cold and flu medicine, diarrhea medicine, all of those different things. Make sure that you don't buy copious amounts of them, but buy enough to get you through your first really good cold, It's prime for cold and flu season. Super important that we can take care of ourselves or the other people in our house, and because you just never know what's going to hit you. I am hoping for snow days. I legit would be super happy to get snowed in once. I'm kind of hoping for multiple days, because that is a party right there. That is a party right there. I'm not leaving the house. I'm having a party. And so what do I do when I have a party? I bake for people. Yes, I do. Baking supplies. Stock up on your essential baking supplies. Flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, yeast, all the other baking essentials that you use, because winter is a great time to bake. And when you do it, you're helping to heat up the house too. You have treats to give to the kids, to give to the neighbors, to send to work, do whatever you do. But it not only provides you with a really good comfort food, because, homemade cookies, hello, but it can also be a comforting activity and, a warming activity on a cold day. If the kids can't go to school because there's icy roads or whatever the case may be, let's make some cookies. I love me some frozen and dehydrated and freeze-dried foods. Yes, I do. And so I try to make sure that I am kind of diversified in what I have. Yes, I have some stuff frozen. Yes, I have the same exact food that is freeze-dried. Yes, I have the same exact vegetables that are dehydrated. Redundancy is a beautiful thing when you're talking about your pantry. So stock up on frozen vegetables, meats, and dehydrated fruits. Cranberries, hello. Do you know how many things you can do with those cranberries, right? If you have the space, a freezer full of food is a great backup. But, oh my goodness, get a freezer alarm. Seriously. We can't use the Wi-Fi freezer alarms because the Wi-Fi doesn't reach. Ours is down and out, and so it doesn't reach, the Wi-Fi doesn't reach it. But I do have some alarms where you plug those into the wall and then you plug the freezer into that. And if there's an interruption in power, then it squawks like crazy and I will hear it. It is probably as close as I'm going to get to a freezer alarm because the Wi-Fi doesn't reach. And, you do what you do. I still have a goal of getting down to one freezer by the first of the year. Wish me luck. Number 10 is organize and rotate your stock. Oh my God, she's asking me to work again. Yes, but I'm telling you, I have seen in the last couple weeks so many posts where people say, I went into inventory and I wiped down the top of the jars because, it doesn't matter. They're going to get dusty. And you checked all the lids on the different jars and oh my gosh, I found a jar where the lid wasn't sealed. Oh my gosh, I walked into the pantry and the smell. And I had to figure out which jar it was coming from, So you want to make sure that you go through and you organize, that you rotate the stock, because dates are not the be all end all, the end all be all, whatever it is. They really aren't. They're a suggestion 9 out of 10 times, but you don't want the newest date in front. You don't want the oldest date. How does that go? The date that's closest to the date that you're at, you want that one up front. You don't want that one in the back, okay? Because it's just an older product, and so you're saving the super old product for months down the road. That doesn't make any sense, people. So first in, first out, you know the rule, okay? Use older items first and place new items in the back. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Keep your pantry organized, and categories are awesome. You wouldn't know it right now because I'm in the middle of like, you know, but I have categories set up. Obviously I have my freeze dried. Obviously, I have my store-bought foods, right? But in my store-bought foods, I also have, okay, so here is the salsa. Here is the spaghetti sauce. Here is the diced tomatoes. Then we have, you know, the rotel. And then we have the soups that we, you know, have up there. So I have, there's a method to my madness that works for my head. These are all my, you know, dried fruits and baking chips and stuff like that. I have a system. All my spices are here. All my meats are there. All my vegetables are there. All my soups are there. You know, organize, create systems, create sections if you can. You don't have to obviously take up a whole room like I do, but you can do this on a shelf and go, this shelf is for all the store-bought. This shelf is for all of the home canned. This shelf is for all of the dry goods, you know. Do what works for you where you are. But the more organized you are, the easier it is. Categories makes it that much easier. Number 11, as always, plan for special dietary needs. If you have somebody in the house that's diabetic, if you have somebody in the house that's gluten intolerant, if you have peanut allergies, if you have texture preferences, okay, plan for them. You know about them more than I do, so that one's on you. Invest in pantry storage solutions. There's not a whole bunch of them that I'm super stoked about. There's actually very few of them that I'm very super stoked about, okay? You guys know I love the muscle racks, but it gets a little pricey until you're ready to make that investment. We got these on sale years ago when they were significantly cheaper than they are today, okay? But we take 3 shelving units and turn it into 2. So we end up having extra sidebars, but that allows us to put as many shelves as we need so that we can space them according to what we are putting in there. That works for us. Okay, the other thing is like this rack right here, so I can put them on their side and it does the first in, first out. These are okay, but I have to use zip ties to keep the sides closed. I've never found any that work really good. I really haven't. So I've got those in here randomly. I'm not going to make, you know, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of them. It allows me to break it up a little bit, which is helpful. So if you have different ways that you can set up tools to help you rotate and organize your pantry, storage solutions are amazing. I love canning jars. I think it's a great way to store my spices, my pastas, my dry goods, you know, what I don't have in Mylar and buckets. So more of my immediate use dry goods are in jars. My long-term is in Mylar and buckets. That works for me. If it doesn't work for you, I totally get it, okay? But do what you can do and what works for you and your space. And sometimes, quite honestly, it's just trial and error. One of the things we talk about is a backup heat source. Mr. Buddy has a indoor propane heater. It is rated to be able to use indoor. I actually just picked this up because I want to be able to use it in the garage this winter. Our garage is not insulated. It will never be warm. And, you know, I asked Phil if he wanted to go to the effort of insulating it, drywalling it, putting in a ceiling. And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, good. Saves us money. We can use it on something else, you know. But for the times that he wants to be out there doing something, I have made it a point to try to make it comfortable out there. Everything from the mats that you can stand on that, you know, absorb the shock, whatever they're called. And then this Mr. Buddy heater is also going to be there because it does heat up a pretty significant amount of space. So check out that alternate heating sources. Here in Michigan, one of the things that I found out quite by accident is that a lot of times, even if your county, or I'm sorry, even if your city, your township, whatever municipality does not have it in their zoning ordinances, where you are not allowed to have a wood burning stove in your outbuilding, okay, in your garage, in your barn, in your shed, whatever the case may be. They may not have an ordinance for it, but apparently there's a really good chance that your county will have it in an ordinance. What this does, just so that you know, because honestly, it's up to you, okay? Almost everybody that we know that has outbuildings here has some kind of wood burning stove in one of the outbuildings so that they can be out there doing things for the animals, for this, for that, for whatever. But because the county has it in their ordinance that these are not allowed, that is your insurance company's out. That is your insurance company saying, oh, you have a wood burning stove? Do you know it's against the ordinance? Now we don't have to pay to replace your structure. What? Yeah, I'm telling you, there's always something. There's always something. So you do want to look into that. But I've said it a million times, I don't mind when the power goes out in the wintertime because we heat primarily with wood. I don't have to worry about it. Darkness means I can go to bed early and yay, we have heat, you know, for wood. You need to find what works for you. This Mr. Buddy heater has excellent reviews. It's rated safe for indoors and it's not very expensive at all. I do recommend it. Link is down below. You want to prepare for extended power outages. Absolutely. I have a list of 15 different things that you can do. You're going to want to check out that video. It'll be at the end of this one. You want to stock up on batteries, those battery operated candles, lanterns, you know, that kind of stuff. Because winter storms, heck, October can lead to power outages, okay? Hurricanes, all of that fun stuff. Yeah. Our electrical grid is crap. Find a way to light your way. Last but not least, number 15, you want to regularly update your supplies. This is not a set it and forget it. You want to rotate through this stuff. You want to make sure that you're taking a look at it at least twice a year. If it makes you feel any better, do it when you change out the batteries in your smoke detector, okay? Do it with the time change. For you folks in Arizona, do it when everybody else changes their time, okay? But that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you are getting in there, you're reviewing and refreshing everything in your pantry at least twice a year. Before and after winter, okay? It ensures that nothing goes out of date. It makes sure that you're rotating your food and that you are ready for whatever winter throws at you. Winter can be unpredictable, but your preparedness doesn't have to be. Don't wait until the first snowstorm to start preparing. Do it now. Be prepared before it happens. That's why they call it being prepared. Just for you, because I love you so much. There's a link down below to download this list so that you can go through and check it off as you address it. If you want to see more about the 15 things that you can do that are essential for when you have a power outage, check out this playlist right here. Until next time, everybody, be safe, stack it to the rafters.